I saw a president that was not fair. That's what I saw yesterday. And I'm going to be hard with the truth today. I'm not saying this because of us. I'm saying this because of our democracy. It's time we stop making this a demonstration of grace. All the legal minds have spoken about it extensively. The last state of emergency had in this country, in fact, I think it was the National Assembly that called the attention of the president to that you don't need to suspend the governor. And it was kept in place. Most of the legal, analysis that have come out of Section 305 keeps faulting what the president has done. But you see, this case is peculiar because, please, you will humor me to think that this National Assembly will be able to call the president to order when they need to vote on it, when they need to get 2/3 on it. This rubber stamp National Assembly, this National Assembly that can't even investigate a case of sexual harassment, this National Assembly that is so high-handed in its own regard towards its own members. Is it this National Assembly? If you believe that this National Assembly will go ahead and make a strong footing and make a strong showing against President Tinubu, then you will be so gullible to think that osmosis is the name of a Turkish footballer. Not this National Assembly. Because they met yesterday with the president, the principal officers, before this was agreed. So it's a political ploy. Coming to the part of unfairness, I saw a lot of half-truths in the president's speech yesterday. Fubara has not made attempts to ensure that the Supreme Court ruling was implemented, but we saw when he went to the House, we saw the game the legislature in Rivers State had been playing. We saw those games, but the president was not fair in the first place because he took sides with Wike. And that's why the likes of Atedo Peter started asking, is there anything more between President Tinubu and Wike this morning? He can't call a spade a spade. He can't call Wike to order. The same President Tinubu did not see where Wike was threatening the Ijaw ethnic nationality and say, what would they do? The same President Tinubu didn't see all of this. But anyway, what do I expect? It's under President Tinubu's watch that we had 2 speakers in Lagos. It's under President Tinubu's watch we had a disarray in Osun State House of Assembly. You've had political suicides everywhere. But in all of this, he heaped all of the blame on Fubara when we know the real actors in this matter. And like Ebon Adegboruwa was saying this morning, it was part of a grand ploy. Let's call a spade a spade. It was part of a grand ploy. The idea was to remove Fubara in the first place. So they had looked for ways. Why was it that all of a sudden, it was yesterday that they served the impeachment notice, that they wrote out the things Fubara had done, and then the president read out the state of emergency. And when you check the state of emergency speech, most of the things enunciated in the state of emergency speech were the things the lawmakers had enunciated in Rivers. So why did it happen all of a sudden? Fela sang a song many years ago. He called it Power Show. I open my eyes and I see for my country. Power show. But please, people that do the power show must remember power is transient. No matter, even if you do 8 years, it will not be there forever. Isn't it shocking that the same president that condemned state of emergency, that was a hero then, has now reneged on everything he condemns?
All right.
It's a sad day for democracy.
Wow. May God bless you, Rufai. May God bless the womb that carried you to this planet Earth. What a prophetic utterances. It is true. There's no democracy in Nigeria. Let us keep deceiving ourselves. When people like this are not rising up in Nigeria to speak truth to power, I guarantee you there's no other foreign body that will help you to do that. When people like Rufai, people, men, a few others, and like Mojelesho Wore, Dele Farotimi, people like that, when they are more, and like that, are not ready to stand for their nation to speak truth to power, in order to bring sanity to every insanity that is going on in Nigeria. No other foreign agency, foreign body that will help you to do that. Why? Because you are the one to know the purpose of your nation. But when you don't know the purpose of your nation, the purpose why Nigeria was being given birth to, then abuse. They will abuse it. Anybody can just enter power and abuse it. And anybody, any foreigner can come and abuse it because you are, as a citizen, you didn't know the purpose of your nation. You didn't know the purpose why your nation was being given birth to compared to other developed countries. It is true there's no democracy in Nigeria. Can't you see the abnormality going on in Rivers State and what the fraudulent election that took place in Edo State? And what happened in many occasions like that? No democracy. Imagine announcing a state of emergency without putting justice to judgment. You don't do things like that. When two people are fighting, the third partner must bring peace. He must approach it with peace to rectify that problem, not the one that will be taking side because he's your political partner and you are looking forward. Yes, that is what they are looking forward to do. They are looking forward for the next coming election. So whether they are bridging law, they are not bridging law, whether people they are treating people unfair, whether they don't care, They are what is now running on their mind is 2027 election. That is what is running on his mind now, which is very bad. It's very, very bad. No democracy in the nation. No democracy. Nigeria is not Democrats. Nigeria is not in democracy. We are in kleptocracy, as a matter of fact. It was Abraham Lincoln who defined democracy as a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. But what you are witnessing now going on in Rivers State now, and the fraudulent election that took place in Edo State, how does that reflect democracy on your mind? Does that in any way resemble democracy? No democracy. And what Abraham Lincoln meant about that government of the people and for the people, it actually means that the government where the interest of every citizen. It protects the interest of every citizen. Democracy is a government where leaders serve the people, not to rule, not ruling them like slaves. To serve the people. Servienty, that is how leadership should be. Servienty, to serve the interest of the people, to serve the people. That is what our Lord Jesus Christ also, he said he came to serve. But a dictatorship and a leader without character, he will always wear the mentality to rule his people, to overrule his people, to enslave them, to oppress them, to deprive them of their rights, of a better life. So democracy is a government where leaders serve the people and the resources of the land are being used for the people, for the benefit of the people. In a true democracy, I'm talking about, not the opposite. True democracy. So policies will be amended to make sure bank system controlling the wealth, to make sure cash is being reached out to the people, not to deprive their citizens from cash, whereby the politicians will be accumulating the currency, accumulating the cash for the next coming election. The people will be suffocating. People will be disenfranchised. People will be dishumanized. People will be in perpetual pain. That is not a Democrat. That is not Democrat. It's not Democrat at all. In true democracy, the state of the country is known by the state by the condition of the weakest, the lowest citizens. If you are a citizen of any nation, for example, in a nation whereby democracy works, if you are a citizen of that nation living under true democracy, that government of that nation will do everything within its power to make sure that you have the right to quality and the right to quantity of life. It does not matter who you are, not what we are seeing in Nigeria now. Whenever we ask you, whose sons are you? Who are you? Who are you? We just buy you, nobody will ask. That is not a democratic nation. Systems cannot cover you. No judiciary system, no justice. The people, these people, this APC government has influence on them on the judiciary system. They have influence on security agencies, police. They have influence on name them. So that is why you cannot. It's not fair. It's not godly when you say Nigeria is a nation of democracy. It's not godly. Yeah. Government in a democratic system, government do everything within its power to ensure that you have your rights. You have right to live. You have right for your property to be protected, for the resources to be controlled for your benefit as a citizen. As a citizen, that is a nation whereby democracy work. It does not matter who you are. As far as you are a citizen in a democracy nation, the government will do everything within its power to protect your interest, to defend your interest, to assist. They will make sure you are protected, you are defended, and you are assisted. They can never disable the citizen just to prove a political point. They don't do that. In a democratic society, the citizens, they are not worrying. They don't have to bother for anything. Why? Because the government, it makes good plans of their needs. It took care of their needs. Are you going to talk about health care? It will be provided for them. Good one as that. Good one. The pensioner in a democracy are not wallowing on the streets. They don't have any heartache bothering themselves, worrying how they will be paid. The pensioner, they will be planned for. They'll be going for vacations. Yes, they don't bother themselves because the government will cover that for them. It will make good plans for them. Where there is a true democracy, I'm telling you, I'm just talking about. It supports them. Government support their needs monthly, not maybe decade, once in decade. In democracy. Monthly, in every month. They implement policies that will work through the bank sector, banking system to make sure money, the cash is reaching out to the needy, the pensioner, the toddlers, the mothers, pregnant women. All these are what the resources is just meant for. Is not to control for their personal. They'll be embezzling the money for their personal interest, personal needs. No, that is not how it works in a true democracy. Thank you.